All right, guys, so as you can see, there's a very small plane behind me. And if you are seeing this, I probably made it alive, or somebody may have just found my camera and posted this on the internet. I don't know. We're in the car, just coming back from the dry cleaner. Just picked up some dry cleaning because I've got a wedding to go to this week. Yeah, I think that this video might be out later than the others, so I apologize in advance. Sort of setting myself up for that one. Just a busy week, working pretty much every day, and then on top of regular work in residency, I'm doing what's called moonlighting, where I basically work on my own license. So, when you're a resident, meaning after medical school, you do residency, where you sort of work on your specialization, and you're a doctor, but you are technically still like in training, and that means that when you're seeing patients in the hospital, you're technically working technically under somebody else's license, who's basically the physician in charge, the attending. So when I'm moonlighting, I'm operating completely independently under my own license, because you don't need to finish residency to get a full medical license. You just can't be board certified unless you finish residency. So I moonlight typically in kind of rural emergency departments on my days off, and that means that the drive is maybe an hour or two or more away, and then I'm working, you say, a 12 or 24-hour shift, something like that. So it's been busy working and all that stuff. Just got home, about to do some I'm going to do a combined upper and lower session, just because that's the nature of how this week is going. I haven't really spoken to you guys about how my last upper body session went. It was fucking terrible. I should not be cursing on this channel. It was really bad, guys. It was really, really bad. After physical therapy, I've been doing some of those exercises, and I think that I may have overdone it. Because things actually were worse on my last upper body session. So bad that I had to basically cut the workout because I was in so much pain after the first set. The first set was only a single, and it was working up to a heavier, I think I was supposed to do a heavy double or a heavy triple. And that heavy single should have been around an RPE 7, maybe RPE 6.5, and it was like an RPE 9.5, 10. It was actually just like the bar speed was as slow as my 1 rep max, which is not good. And it was just excruciatingly painful, and I had to cut it there because rather than just drop the weights, if I were to have dropped the weights, I would have had to work with a retardedly low amount of weight. And the second thing is I was in so much pain that I couldn't use my arms. Like, I had to go to work afterwards, go see patients, and I don't know, you need like your forearms and your arms when you're an emergency doctor. Yesterday I was at work. I had to do a shoulder reduction. Somebody had dislocated their shoulder, and you need to have some degree of force to do that. You can't just pull on it, boom, it just pops right back in. And I need my forearms to control my hands if I'm going to be doing a suturing somebody or anything like that. So, I definitely can't be having my training interfering with my work. And so I just had to cut that workout, which was a bummer, because I've already cut down my volume substantially, and I'm continuing to do that on my upper body session so that I can sort of recover and just hopefully get the bare minimum in at this meet. So anyway, I'm running short on time as per usual. I've got about an hour, 2 hours and 15 minutes to do upper and lower session, hop in the shower, and then head off to work. So let's get to that. All right, guys, so I'm pretty freaking happy that I was able to get through that workout. As you saw, technically, definitely not impressive. Technically pretty terrible. The weights were not super impressive, but I finished what I had to do, and that is a huge win considering last workout I had to cut it. So right now my arms are definitely feeling worse than they typically would in a bench session. They're definitely feeling kind of heavy and painful. But I'm pretty sure that it won't affect me on deads. I'm just warming up right now on deadlift. The plan is to work up to a single at 250 and then do some back down sets for triples at I think 237 and a half. So that's 7.5 more kilos than last week, and I'm going up to a single of 250 today. And I've got 45 minutes to do that because I've got to hop in the shower and then head to work. So I will catch you guys in a bit. Welcome back to the gym. Today is the second lower body day of this week. It's Thursday right now. It's like, I don't know what actual day it is, sometime in April. And it's like 12:15 p.m. I'm gonna have to cut this workout into two because I've got a shift at 2 p.m. Probably gonna just be able to work out for just about an hour or so, including warming up. So definitely not much for a lower body session, which means that when I get home from work around 11:30, I'll finish it up. Probably won't film that part, but I'm pretty stoked for today's session. It's a big session. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let the clip roll and let you guys see what we have in store for today. Alright guys, so I just hit 200 for a triple, and it wasn't a grind, so I am pretty stoked about that. That was what I hit in my last meet 4 years ago, so not bad. My hip wasn't really hurting me too bad. I'm definitely a little bit more beat up than normal just because I typically take a few more days between sessions, but I literally just had my heavy deadlift session not even 48 hours ago. So all things considered, I am pretty happy about that. So I'm going to bang through the rest of this workout because I've got to get to work, and I'll do the rest of it later. Probably won't film that. Catch you guys later. What's going on, guys? So today is actually the same day that you saw me last, because all I did is went to work, and now I've got to finish this lower body session. So I was lucky. I got out of work like 10 minutes early, maybe 15. So now we are training, and it is 11:24 p.m. So that's what we got to do. Not ideal, but That's the way of the world. So I am just warming up again for lower body. I'm gonna finish up this workout. I know I said I wasn't gonna film, guys, but you know what? We're here. We might as well get some footages in on some of the accessory lifts. So that's what we're about to do. All right, guys, it's a little after 12. I just finished up that rest of that workout. I was supposed to do some sumo deadlifts and just at a kind of a lower percentage and some pause sumo, but I'm gonna skip those. And that's just because, after that first squat session of the day, while I was at work, I definitely started getting pretty tight in my upper back, into my neck area. This kind of thing is pretty tight. I probably could deadlift fine, but I have to wake up in about 5 hours to bench press because I have to be on the road to head to a wedding tomorrow morning. So I will see you guys in probably like 5 hours or so. And yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. All right, guys, welcome back. Now it's about 6 hours later. I did oversleep a touch. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm wearing the same thing because this is how I passed out last night. And I've got to get to this training because I've got some stuff to do, gotta pack, gotta get a haircut, and get on the road. So let's get to it. Hey guys, all right, so I've done a little bit of warming up on bench, and I did go to physical therapy yesterday, so I'm definitely feeling that. I was at therapy for about an hour and a half. I'm going there basically because both of my elbows, the muscles and tendons in that area are overworked and kind of have a bit of a tendinopathy, and my right hip. So a lot of the work that we've been doing, the exercises on my kind of elbow area to get things stronger and get them to the point where they're not hurting. Unfortunately, because I just did that, about 18 hours ago, I'm still very much feeling that, and it's making the descent on the bench press feel much more challenging than it normally is. Where the negative, basically the eccentric part of the bench is way harder than the concentric. So I'm going to do my best. That's all you can really do in times like this. So this is my first working set. Let's see how it goes. May have to drop the weight, but maybe not. Sometimes there's a surprise. All right, so as you guys saw, that last rep was a grind and not so hot. So that was 112.5. Beginning of the week, I hit 110 for a double, not super fast, not as great as it should have been, but I was actually going to try and hit that for a double, and as you saw how slow that was a 0.12 meters per second, which is like a true grind. Yeah, so I probably should have cut the weight before I tried that. That was my bad. So I'm gonna have to drop some weights and get some of the rest of this in. Weights are moving super slow today, but that's it. I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do the best you can. So I'm probably gonna stop filming here. I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. All right, so we're back on land, and we made it alive in one piece. Pretty quick ride from the Austin area to Dallas, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, so as you can tell, we obviously made it. So for that wedding, basically, I drove down to Austin, and then I flew back with my buddy Mike, who's a private pilot. So there were like 5 of us, and we all could not fit with all of our stuff in his plane going both ways, so we just basically split up our crew. Half of us drove down the first way, and then we kind of split up. The other folks who flew down drove back, and obviously it's Mike's plane, so he was flying the whole time. So that was my first time in a plane that size. It was pretty sweet, and Mike actually let me fly, which was really cool. That was a very cool experience. It was beautiful weather, so very, very grateful for that. You know, anyway, that's kind of the whole week, guys. You know, just trying to balance working as a resident, working extra shifts, moonlighting, trying to lift, get that in, maintain relationships, and have a life outside of all this. You know, it's not easy. It's not going to be ideal. I've said this before. I'm not a professional lifter. Like, this is a hobby. I'm dedicated. I'm, you know, very much putting a lot of energies into lifting, and especially now that I'm preparing for a powerlifting competition, but nonetheless, like, it's not my job. So everything's not going to be ideal, and as we saw, you know, there were some training sessions that were not so hot, but overall I was pretty happy with this week. Honestly, squats and deadlift went pretty smooth. You know, the bench was so-so, but I'm also recovering from some injuries, and you know, really doing the best that I can. So anyway, guys, that is the video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and stay tuned for more videos next week. Be sure to share the channel with your friends. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you next week.